Welcome to formerly Twins on Tech. Now we have rebadged ourselves. What do they call it? Rebranded our podcast here. Yeah, rebranded sounds fancier. Twins Talk Tech. Virtually the same thing. I don't know, for some reason I just liked the sound of it better. Popped into my head this morning, sent a message to Brent. Hey, what about this? I don't know. Anybody else using it? Doesn't seem to be. So here we are. Twins Talk Tech, technically episode 1 of this podcast, but we're going to keep the same number. So episode 30 for this series, if you will. And today we're just going to talk about some of our favorite bookmarks. Mine just so happen to almost all be tech related, but they don't necessarily have to be. Brent, what do you have over there? Well, before we even get to that, what do you got? Any openers? Anything you want to say? Hi to our fans.
Hi, fans. We do have some potentially new watchers. I don't know how often they're going to watch, but I've had many people tell me lately that they checked it out. A good 4 to 20 minutes or so of the cumulative 29 episodes. But either way, somebody's looking in, so hi, and thanks for watching.
They may get hooked one of these days.
Yeah, maybe. But sorry for my location once again. This is just an easier way to get things rolling. Bryce's schedule is, kind of, I was about to say shifty, but that implies that it's odd and questionable. That's not what I mean. You could have things come up that you need to work on. Yeah. So, and me getting home having to set things up can be a pain. So sorry for the environment. Hopefully it works out fine. But no, I don't really have anything outside of that general sorry for the car again statement.
Okay. Well, at least it's clean from this angle, so that's nice.
Yeah. Or you're implying that it's dirty usually? I don't appreciate that.
I have no idea. I've never seen any other angles, really. Right. Okay, so what do you got there for us? What bookmarks, internet bookmarks, do you have?
Well, I won't go through all of them, but I suppose I'll touch on some of the ones that I appreciate. Well, I don't have as many as I used to. So if I were, it wouldn't make me be here all day. But again, tech related. So Windows related, Thurrott.com. He used to be a writer at, I used to know now, directly Windows related website, and I can't remember the name of it, but Thurrott.com, THURROTT.com. Just a lot of technology information. It's not just Microsoft related, but if you're interested in Microsoft, Windows, and Microsoft products, Xbox, and so forth, he does a lot of reviews, some commentary. There are other writers there, I believe. There is a pay option. I don't know. I don't think I'll call it premium or what. So you can't really get every, article. But all of the ones that I wanted to read so far have been available. But I just have always kind of appreciated what he says, agree typically with a lot of his opinions on technology. But he also talks about Apple and so forth because, competition is related. So anyway, that's one website.
Okay, just pause for 2 seconds.
Sure.
Hold on 1 second. Maybe we'll go back and forth. That way we can kind of see how much time we have.
Sounds good.
As well as Brent will send me his list. He doesn't know that yet, but he's going to send me his list.
I know now.
And then, he knows now. We'll just put it right there at the bottom, right here. At the bottom of the screen. And then maybe we'll go crazy and put them in the description as well. So if everyone wants to check them out, they can just clickety-click. Because some of mine are, the links that I have at least are very long because they drill down. Some of these are ridiculous. I don't care about the website, but maybe I care about an article on the website that I want to remember or something. So it'd be easier just to do that. Sounds good?
Yep.
All right. So Thurrott.com. I'm going to pull up my list here because I've got quite a few. But I say the first one on my list, if I go top down here in my convertible, YouTube to MP3 converter. Now, there's actually quite a few of them out there. I'll put a link to the one that I use probably most frequently because I believe it's ad-based, but I haven't seen any sketchy ads. And so far, only one video hasn't worked. Now, I don't go out and rip all of YouTube and everything of that nature. The main reason I have it is because of here at work in my environment being education. Sometimes there's a video on YouTube that the powers that be like and they want to show others. But instead of going to the YouTubes, which can sometimes be cumbersome because of our filter, they want me to basically just rip out the video and then maybe even edit it a little bit, only 30 seconds of it or something of that nature. And then they throw it into a PowerPoint because we know everyone loves PowerPoint. So YouTube to MP3 converter, there's another one. Matter of fact, we'll just double up. Sorry to get 2 for 1 here, but YouTube downloader, video downloader. I think it might even have a name for that one. No, just says YouTube video downloader. Okay, so I'll put the link to both of those on here. The MP3 one is nice because if it is a song, well, then you go rip it, throw it to your audio device. But the video one is nice too because then you can save them offline. And again, in my case, put them in some sort of presentation. So I squeezed 2 in there on that one. YouTube media theft.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm sure they appreciate that, and it won't affect this video at all. I'm sure.
We are an educational entity, and it is legal here.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
That's good. The next one for me, autoblog.com. It is, I'm given the broad website, whereas Bryce is drilling down to parts of websites. There's a lot of auto-related. There was another word I wanted to use, but I didn't. Auto-related websites that you can go to. This one I've just liked. It's anywhere from just general articles on the cars that are coming out or the new cars that come out. There's video. Standard fare for a lot of websites out there, much less audio websites. So it's just one that I've enjoyed if I'm looking for a car, not just to buy, just because, I heard about it, interested in it, wanted to look it up. Obviously, there's YouTube. There's probably a video or so on it. But you get more and more detailed information. More information and more detailed information. Many cases from this particular website. And of course, like I said, other ones as well. I just don't frequent other ones, so I don't know the names off the top of my head. But autoblog.com is a good one. And it's owned by... I don't know if it's owned by AOL now. I think they sold it again. But like Engadget and Lifehacker, I think they're all kind of owned by the same umbrella. Yeah, and I don't like that part.
Consortium.
What's that? Sure.
Some consortium.
Yeah. I don't necessarily love that part, and they have changed a little bit every time they change hands, but they haven't gotten to the point yet that I don't go there. Like Engadget, I don't really go and read their technology information because... I don't know. It just seems a little more commercial. The writers that they've switched out to just don't interest me as much. But Autoblog has kind of stayed pretty steady. And I just, again, car related, I enjoy it.
Very cool. All right. Okay, so the next one is actually a YouTube channel. And I bring it up. I know we already discussed YouTube channels. I might have even discussed this guy in the past. But it is a bookmark that I have. He comes out with a new video probably once a month, once every 6 weeks. Because his products are a little detailed. His projects. This specific one is how to make a flexible LED panel. It's kind of cool. But it's DIY Perks, Perks. So again, that's the YouTube channel. He's British, I think, by his accent. But he has some pretty trippy stuff in there that once we get settled in our property with the house and all that jazz is done, I've probably 6 of his projects that he's done I want to replicate in some way, shape, or form. And that kind of goes into another link that I have a little bit later on, which unfortunately I don't remember the name of, but we'll pull the link up here at the bottom, and that's all that matters later. So DIY Perks on YouTube, the channel. This one, again, is specifically about how to make a flexible LED panel, but he has a whole slew of super cool stuff.
Can you be more specific? Do you mean an arm holding an LED panel, or the panel itself is flexible?
It's just the panel itself is flexible. So it's not an LED as like an LED display. It's more like a light panel.
Right.
So you can put a diffuser on front of it and be, for photography, or he actually takes that, and then on another video later on, he puts it in a frame up against the wall with some sort of picture in front of it to make it look like it's an actual window. So it's kind of neat. That's backlit and everything. So it's actually just a panel that when he's done, he can kind of roll up, and then stash away. So it's, it's portable, it's collapsible, it's flexible, so that you can actually, I don't remember, it's been a while since I've seen this specific one, but I don't remember if this is the one where he has it to where when you kind of put it into a certain shape, it holds it, or if it's just flexible in the means of, you can roll it up and things like that. But yeah, so it's just it's a light panel.
Yeah.
And then you mount it however you decide to mount it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So the next one for me, again, is a website we've talked about before. Netcast related videos, audio MP3s. I meant to say podcasts. Twit.tv. Mm-hmm. There's some things that they have that I'm not interested in, but there are some things that I do watch. And one thing of interest for me that I'll mention now is something that I'm shooting for. You wouldn't know by my environment right now. But if you were to watch, and I didn't even pull up what the episode is, maybe I'll look at it right now. This week in Mac Break Weekly. There we go. Mac Break Weekly for this week. And I don't know the episode number again. I'll try to pull it up while I'm rambling. Alex Lindsay is one of the frequent guests on the show. And all of the guests that were on the show, and I'm not mentioning the website overall because of this, but it's a good example of something that I'm going to go back to try to emulate. Anyway, his video was crisp and clear. All of their video was clear and so forth. But something that you mentioned in the past, where the individual being recorded, separated from the background, and I don't know all the terms, you've said them before, I've forgotten them all. Blurry background, he's nice and crisp. And then in a video format, when I was watching it, I was like, wow, there's something different. It just wasn't clicking in my head because everybody else, their background was crisp, they were crisp, everything looked fine. But man, it just really stood out. Like, I really prefer when he's on screen because it just looks so much better. What's the deal? And then it finally clicked. Oh, I get it. That's what Bryce was talking about. I've tried it once or twice and successfully did it in tests. But, when I try to set this up, not here in the car, but at home, it's, I don't have the time to get it right. No body there to frame up against. But anyway, the latest episode is 611. So that's just the one that I may be telling you wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. 661.
It's one of them.
611 or 610, one of those two.
Yeah.
Because his are a lot of times he goes to different places. So he's not always in the same environment and has the same situation. So he's not always in this way where he's clear and the background's blurry. This particular episode he was. But aside from that, the overall network is generally technology related. There's audio podcasts you can download, the same thing, or video related if you want to watch it instead. And they also have a channel on YouTube here where the videos are posted. But anyway, twit.tv, good technology location. Place to find technology related information.
It's a location presented on the internet.
There we go. Somebody will say it right. Probably won't be me.
One of these days. Keep hope alive.
Yeah. Who knows?
Okay, so the next one for me is one that I haven't actually utilized yet. I don't know about you. Sometimes when I make bookmarks, it's because I want to come back to it and then actively read it or watch the video or do whatever else. So in this case, I bought Panasonic G85. That's the camera I'm recording with right now. And a YouTube channel that I had mentioned before in our YouTube favorite podcast or whatever it is video we did. He has a video guide, and his name was right there, and it just gone. I'll remember DSL Video Shooter, the channel DSL Video Shooter on YouTube. He uses a lot of Panasonic and Sony devices, but he created a video guide on how to set up and tweak and then use the Panasonic G85. It's only like 19 or 20 bucks, maybe 29. I just haven't gotten around to do it. I'm hoping to maybe do it soon, within the next month or so, but we'll see. But I have it bookmarked just in case. Just in case I can't get to it soon, I can go back to it. So another reason I do use my bookmarks. I'm not a person who leaves 1,000 tabs open and then just leaves them until I get to them. It annoys me. Plus, performance of your computer, yada yada. So I find something. I don't have time right now. I bookmark it. That's also the flip side. Is sometimes I forget to go and clean out my bookmarks. So I've got all of these things that I've already used, and they're not even valid anymore, but they're still taking up space. So that's a whole other problem. But he's in there because he has this guide. And it's actually, the guide is not on YouTube. I think it references some videos behind a paywall on his site. But that's where I found it, was from his channel on YouTube, DSL Video Shooter. In this case, the Panasonic Video Guide, Panasonic G85 specifically. So if you have a camera that you're wanting to learn to use, in your case, you have the T6i, correct, Brent?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So he doesn't have one for that, but there may be someone who has created some sort of guide that will help you kind of, like almost like a class, if you will, to go through and understand what the settings mean, how to tweak them, how to make it slightly better, so on and so forth. So anyways, so DSL Video Shooter, his Panasonic G85 guide.
That's good. Another website, Ars Technica. I will spell that because it is kind of as it sounds, but ARSTECHNICA.com. Ars Technica. There's a lot of long form articles there. If you really enjoy a deep dive into whatever it is you're reading about technology wise, so there's a lot of that. There's also a lot of short commentary articles and some breakdowns. New devices come out, computers, phones. There's a variety. I will say it's probably not as good as it used to be. The individual who was the main one there, I believe, went to work for Apple. So He is now out of the picture there for Ars Technica. And others have kind of taken over, but it's still very good. It's still a place that I go, I wouldn't say even weekly, but, a couple times a month probably, if there's some technology that I want to find out about or just read more about. I forget everything these days, so it's a good place to have a reference to find information. And arstechnica.com is a good place that I like to go.
Cool. All right, here's one. You mentioned Mac Break Weekly before. This is, I don't know if you'd call it a blog or what it is, but this gentleman, at the end of the Mac Break Weekly, they might do this on their other podcasts as well, but they have picks of the week. Could be hardware, could be software, could be a favorite album. If it's a couple of specific individuals, they normally do music. So this guy each week updates the website with the picks of each individual on the podcast and then a link to it. So if you're interested in it, I guess you can go to twit.tv or their YouTube channel and then look in their description. But if you don't want to worry about all of that, you just find this guy's blog and bam, here's all. And it goes way back to the beginning when they first started to do picks of the week, which was like 2006, 2008, something like that, long time ago. Probably 2006, 'cause I think it was before the iPhone, which was 2007. So anyways, I find it handy because there's, again, sometimes where, they say this, and it's a piece of software, a piece of hardware, and I'm interested in it. Don't maybe have the fundage at the moment. So this guy's site has actually been useful in that regard. I just got to go back week by week to find it, and then I'm good to go. But I usually hit that about once a month, once every other month, just to kind of see what they have. see what it is that they talked about and maybe refresh my memory, because again, there might be something that I was interested in. But it's called Mac Break Weekly Picks. I'll put the link down here below, and I think it's a pretty cool, helpful, handy little page.
Yep. The page that I have kind of queued up next, it's not a website that you would hopefully need to go to very often, but every time, and it seems like it's happening at least monthly, where a large company passes on the information that they've been hacked and that their databases, all the information and users and so forth, has been stolen, or whatever term you want to use. But anyway, haveibeenpwned.com. You can go there, enter your email address, and it will basically tell you if you are on one of these lists. If that email address, because you could have multiple email addresses, just keep trying. But it's Have I Been Pwned? Pwned is spelled Pwned. Have I Been Pwned.com. Again, it's not a place, hopefully, that you have to visit very often. But if you're concerned about your your email address being out there and stolen,
possibly your other
you
data,
can go to this website. Right, because that's how they would get it in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Have you been pwned?
Well, Yahoo. I have a Yahoo account, so probably everybody out there has my Yahoo information. But I do change my email address fairly regularly anyway.
You
so
change your email address?
I haven't had any issues. I meant to say password.
I figured you did, but I forgot. Yeah, I've only.
Thanks for clarifying.
Anytime. One of my accounts has been pwned. Shockingly enough, and I say that quite facetiously, LinkedIn was the culprit. I'm trying to remember why I created a LinkedIn account. I think someone asked me to. I don't remember now. And I never really used it, but here I am now, a few years later with still I get emails. I may search for your name on LinkedIn. And so that's great. I thought I went through the process of getting rid of it, delete my account or whatever the process is there. That didn't work. But that was the one that got me, was when LinkedIn got hacked. So yeah, there you go. Have I been pwned? It's a good one. I'm not terribly sure how accurate it is in the full scope of things, but at least it gives you a good idea. But if you're changing your passwords regularly, then more than likely, even if someone gets your email address, they can't get in to your email inbox. Now, what Have I Been Pwned also does is it can also tell you what data they got. So, if you are part of that target situation, target account or whatever, they would tell you that address, but it also your credit card information, your home address. In some cases, depending on who it was, IRS maybe, your social security number. So there's some pretty important data that still could be out there. I think in my case, I'm fortunate. It was just an email address that really I only use for kind of spam right now. If I sign up for a giveaway, I usually use this address. And so, someone else might claim it, I guess, for me, but that's probably the worst I'll have. One that kind of popped up in my head when you were talking, I don't actually have it bookmarked, but when I open my browser, it is one of the pages that opens. I've got like 6 or 7 tabs that open all at once. Most of them are work related, a couple of them not. This one is Amazon's giveaway page. So if you're a Prime member, you can log into your account and then go to amazon.com/giveaways with an S at the end. And then there's like anywhere between 20 and 70 pages of giveaways. Most of them rubbish, if I may quote some British friends of mine. But they, every once in a blue moon, have something pretty neat, pretty cool. I click on most things. Have not won a thing yet. It's been years since I've been doing this. Although I work with a person who I would say once a month he wins something. So, yeah, like, what in the world? Amazon.com, I'll use this. Again, it's not on my paper here, but I'll use that one as this one. We only have a few minutes left anyways, but Amazon.com/giveaways. You do have to be a Prime member, though. Okay, give me 1 or 2 more. and then we'll end it, and I'll do one.
I'll give you two together because they're related. W3schools.com
Okay.
and just forgot the name of
course.
it. Awesome.
Good timing. Yep.
StackOverflow.com.
Okay. Yeah.
Both of them I use frequently. I don't use W3 Schools all the time because it's better for learning. If you're trying to learn how to code, especially more or simpler code, if you're trying to do SQL, HTML, you can get into other things. They have I'm looking through the list here: JavaScript, web building, XML things. I don't ever mess with that, but so there's a lot here, but it's not everything. You're not using C++ and so forth. You're not learning that here necessarily, but it's a good resource where you can go to the website. You can try typing it out as it has instructed, and you can kind of see the results in a box. So it's a good place to find some easy instruction, easily understandable instruction. And then Stack Overflow is a great place, and there's other places as well. But I've always just thought it's been a great place for me to find information. If you have a question on, if you're doing a Visual Basic project for Microsoft Access or any Microsoft product, type it in. You tell whatever your question is. I have this loop. It's looping fine, but it's missing this variable, whatever. You can spell it out. And then just like a lot of forums, you have people that toss information back and can kind of help you build that code. Or in some cases, you just go out there and see what other people have asked in a question that's close to what you need. And then you can see, oh, this is the code that they used. And if you understand code for the various type you're looking, and it is broad for Stack Overflow. It's not just VBA or HTML or those more simple things. You can see that code and kind of read through, oh, that's what I need to do, or apply this idea, something like that. So it's just two references. One is good for learning. The other, Stack Overflow, is good for learning also, but you kind of have to know what you're looking at when you're going in there. Because you can copy and paste something. That's always dangerous because I haven't come across it in this website, but they could potentially be slipping some information in there, or whatever you are running in Excel or Access or whatever, sending information back to a server somewhere. It should be easy to notice that, but if you're just copy and pasting, you don't know what you're doing. You can get yourself.
If you're copying and pasting, definitely read what it is that you're pasting, so that something might stand out, jump out at you. How much time do you have left?
Well, I'm using my phone, so I've got whatever time.
So you don't have that 29-minute limit.
Correct. Right now. We look like we're at 28 minutes. Is that about right?
So for those that are left, that are still here, here's 3. 2 are based on projects that I'll be doing, and then 1 is based off of projects, but also actually, I'll just stop explaining it because it'll be obvious when I'm done. The first one is pluggable.com. So it's a company. They make USB related items and other stuff as well, but I've used them for their USB hubs, powered USB hubs, USB to VGA or DVI or HDMI converters, usually USB 3. It'll work with 2.0, but it's a bit dodgy if you want to get higher resolution. But I like their products because they've got a good warranty. They're made really well, and they get fantastic reviews. If you go to Amazon as an example, and you just look generically for a USB 3.0 to VGA adapter, you can get them as low as $6, $7. The pluggable one that I purchased the other day is $50. I'm rounding, but it's about $50. But you're getting something much more than that. You're kind of getting the pluggable family, if you will. Their tech support is top notch. You actually get tech support. Actually, that's probably a big deal. They're using not any hacked drivers, but the actual display link drivers. They have an actual installer that's appropriate. While the documentation is thin, it's in proper English, which is, I'm not making fun of anybody, but sometimes if you actually need to hit the documentation and you can't even understand it, well, then that's a problem too. So all of these things kind of add up. It's worth it to me to pay the extra money for something that I know will work, or if it doesn't work, I will just no hassle to get it fixed. So pluggable.com. I haven't tried all their products. I hope to be buying one of their USB 3.0 docks coming up soon, so I can just set my laptop down, plug in power, plug in one USB, and bam, I've got multiple USB ports. I've got VGA or HDMI. I've got audio. I've got Ethernet. So that's going. It's in the future, but it's one thing I want to do. I bought their 7-port hub and their
I may have lost you.
USB 3.0 to VGA adapter, and great stuff. So now an extension with that is I have an old 2011
there,
iMac.
but I don't see him.
Are you still there? You look like you froze up. All right, I'm going to continue because I don't know if you heard me or not, but I can't hear you and I can't see you. We're using Skype and it's working great. But anyways, I have an old iMac mid 2011 that it's dead, and he just dropped. There he goes. So let's see if he calls back. But this, it's a YouTube channel. Actually, it's a YouTube video. I don't even know what he does in the rest of the channel. But he uses
Or maybe that's just
some
the end of the
devices
episode.
that you
And
can
I'm talking to
find
myself
on the
all lonely
internet
like.
to convert the iMac, take out the guts, and just simply use the graphics card, or not even that, just the display. So it becomes a monitor. He just answered it. He's gone again. This is good stuff. All right, episode
As
30.
I was calling him, I could hear him, but he was still talking.
So to use an old iMac as a monitor, that's one of the things I'm going to do. Link right here. It's a video of how I'm probably going to do it. And then the last one is Dayton Audio Exciters Buyer's Guide. I know that sounds kind of weird. Here he is again. Are you there? Are you there?
I am now,
so
yeah.
I can hear you.
Can
I
you
can't
hear
see
me?
you, but I can hear you. That's all that matters. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention, I went ahead and finished the pluggable thing. I talked about one thing I'm going to do, which is a 2011 iMac fix to where I'm going to take out the guts and just use it as a monitor. And then, so I'll put the link in the video for that. And then the final one is Dayton Audio. They make audio products, exciters. So it's basically just, instead of a speaker with a cone on it, it's just the hardware, the circuitry in the back of it. You attach it either to a wall, a desk, some other flat surface or mostly flat surface, and it turns that surface into a speaker. They're, for the most part, fairly inexpensive. Just one exciter that is a 4 ohm and 25 watt is under $10. So basically, if you go buy some foam core, you paint it black, it already comes with 3M glue on it that when you put it on, it's virtually won't come off again. And then you can just hang it in a corner, plug in some speaker wire, and you have this really cool kind of sleek looking speaker that gives out really good sound. Doesn't give out very good bass, so I'll probably couple that with a subwoofer, but I haven't decided if I'll do that just in my office or if that'll be in the living room or if it's just going to be, you know, like a little test type project. But for $10 per little situation, and they're about that big. They're not that very big at all. But that's the Dayton Audio Exciters Buyer's Guide. It goes through all of the ones that they have. They even have these things that are called bass kickers or something like that. You mount to the furniture, and then you can feel the rumble and the vibrations whenever there's some, you know, explosions or something. Well, I'm not going to do that, but you know,
Right.
there are people who have, and they enjoy that. So those are the last ones that I have. Anything to close out, since Skype is being so pleasant right now?
Yeah, it's kind of being a pain today. I have a good signal where I'm at too. Not really, but maybe at some point in either distant or near future, whatever, we can reapproach this topic with some simpler websites. A lot of the ones that have watched this aren't as into technology as we are. So maybe some websites that would be handy to bookmark for people that aren't as into technology and don't want to do a deep dive on something. So a website that they could go to they would give them quick information. For instance, like some of the products you just here mentioned towards the end would be handy for people to know, oh, I go to this website and get good quality products as opposed to jumping over to Walmart, something like that. So just maybe we can approach it again at some point in the future with a simpler list with less tech enthusiast websites.
I'll have to start bookmarking some then. I don't really have any, but But it's a good goal to
Right.
have. I'll do that.
Yeah. Even the products, the websites that you go to, like in the past episode, you had mentioned
Hmm.
camel, camel, camel. That's a good example because you can go there. Yeah, you kind of have to read it a little bit to understand to do paste the link from Amazon, but it's a very useful website to go to. So just things
Yeah,
like
sounds
that I
bueno.
had in mind.
All right, man. Episode 30 is in the can. Any closers? All right.
Nope,
Twins Talk Tech. Episode 30. We'll
that's right.
see. Well, you'll see us next week. Ciao.
That's right. Sure will. Bye bye.